Hi everyone, it's Madonna from MadonnaBar.com. How are you all going today? Hope you're going super duper well. Well, it is Hump Day today, which is the My Heart Day here at MadonnaBar.com. And today's Facebook Live is inspired by a question that actually pops into my head on a very regular basis, and it may well be also the question that pops into yours and keeps you single. So, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a vulnerable share. So thank you to everybody who's joining. Hello. Great to have you here. So I'm just going to put it on the table. What keeps me single? And, because many of my friends, my girlfriends and my family even say to me, Madonna, you're a wonderful woman. You're amazing. You're incredible. It's just like, why are you single? What the fuck is going on? Well, that's a really good question. And I don't have the answer to it. But what I can say to you is that I have the question that goes around in my head that drives me to keep open, to keep hopeful, to keep faithful, that there will be someone who can answer this question for me. So the question that keeps me single is, will I ever find someone of the same consciousness as me? The relief I feel in actually being able to verbalize why I keep myself single. So this has been going on for some time. And the search has been, it's not even been a search really, it's just been a journey. The journey has gone up and down a number of hills, right? There's been lots of momentum in good directions, and then all of a sudden there's a massive crash. And when it crashes, it's bad, because love for me is intense. It is intensely true, it's intensely intentional, and it's intense, right? I'm an intense personality, and I'm dynamic. I have very strong belief systems. I have very fundamental ways that I like to live and think and feel about things. And my standards are high. I have high standards that I maintain in my life, and so I often am left in a really vulnerable place of, are my standards too high? I ask myself, I question myself, I question my own standards. Are my standards too high? Are they inhumane? Are they not compassionate? What is the consciousness that I need to match me, to be able to feel fully accepted, fully comfortable, to be open and vulnerable in my entirety? And it does my head in. I sit and I wonder, will I ever find someone who has the same consciousness as me? So, my consciousness centers around respect and integrity. I cannot tell you how unbelievably intensely important that is to me. To have respect for yourself, to have respect for the other person's physical, emotional, mental safety. I cannot tell you how important integrity is. The integrity of honesty, truth, being willing to face your shit, being willing to have the integrity to not only face it, but do something about it, or seek the help you need to step up and raise your own standards. The consciousness I need is holistic. Someone who understands the power, the grace, the undeniable truth of natural law. Someone who understands that, you cannot control the wind. You cannot control the sunshine. You cannot control the ocean. You cannot control all of these things. The consciousness and respect around natural law has to be absolute paramount for me, because I can't respect someone who doesn't even respect the fucking planet they live on, right? So I go to myself, I have to be that first. And anybody who knows me knows that I absolutely walk the talk of that. The consciousness I'm looking for needs to be someone spiritual, someone who understands that there is a greater force outside of themselves that impacts on their abundance, that impacts on their emotions, that impacts on their light, that impacts on their health and well-being and the frequency and the resonance of who they are. So I need someone who is spiritual in the sense of spirituality, exploring the energy of spirit, right? Now, spirit lives in everything. It lives in the grass. It lives in the beautiful trees behind me. It lives in the sunshine. It lives in our body. It lives in my hair. It lives in my earrings even. It lives everywhere. Spirit is an energy force that lives everywhere. And I need someone to understand spirituality is not about God or Buddha or, veganism or whatever the fuck you want to label spirituality is. It's about understanding the movement of spirit in everything. Animals, humans, plant matter, the clouds, the air, outer space, planets, the universe. Everything has a spirit energy to that. So I need that consciousness. Now, are you getting the picture? Like, let's add this up. This is a Sarah Lee Danish of magnitude proportions. This human being that is going to stand there in mirror opposite to me is going to be extraordinary. Now, I'm not saying I'm necessarily extraordinary, but they're going to have a consciousness that matches mine. All right, so I need a mindset. I need someone who thinks about things, who understands logic, who understands source, problem theory. Like, let's not just pop a pill to band-aid the symptom. Let's actually get to the source of what's causing that illness or unwellness or issue. Let's deal with that. So I need a mindset that looks past the problem and wants to get to co-creating a solution, right? So mindset is super important. Like, I don't want someone that's going to sit there and whinge about all the negative Nelly shit that goes down in their life every day. We can all do that, right? We can all whinge about the negative, but it takes an extraordinarily in touch person with their mindset to understand the power of accentuating the positive and eliminating the negative. So you know what? The consciousness I needs to be in alignment with that, because I don't work the other way. So like trying to fit a negative mindset into my positive being, not gonna work. I don't care how big your dick is. I don't care how big you think you are. It is not gonna work. If you're trying to insert a negative thing into my positive thing, it's not compatible. I can't believe I just said that. But okay, here we are. As I said, I'm here to be vulnerable. I'm here to open up my thoughts and to express them, because I'm goddamn sure that there is more than just me out there feeling the same thing, wondering the same question, looking for the answer to that question. Will I ever find someone of the same consciousness as me? All right, the next thing I need is confidence. Someone who has got confidence, okay? Now, confidence is sexy confidence. This is like, I can be sexy or I can be straight. I can be sassy or I can be heroic. I can walk my talk in confidence, knowing that I can accept other people's talk and walk, and it's okay. I don't have to seek their approval. I don't have to be approved by them. Confidence of, I know who I am, I center in who I am, and I fucking walk who that is. That's it. Confidence, okay? And the ultimate sexy expression of confidence to me is someone who can stand in the middle of my tempest. And God knows I'm a passionate little fire sign. I can get upset about shit. I can absolutely get upset about shit. And particularly I get upset about being attacked and like just disrespected. I get upset about that because I'm a little justice person. Like, I love justice. I get upset about injustice. I need someone of the consciousness who can see past the behavior and understand the motivation. I need someone who can shush me. Do you understand what that means? The confidence to take me and go, I hear you, I understand your intention, I understand what's motivating this, and I hear you. And I just want to hug you, nurture you, accept you in that moment so that you can understand that you are being heard. Someone who just wants to listen. Not have to coach me, not have to reply to me, not have to tell me. Just someone who can shush me in the moment. Shushing me is like, if you can shush me and you shush me with respect and love and tenderness and integrity and honor and really leave me feeling loved and heard, holy fuck, you would be elevated to God status on this planet in the whole realm of the universe. All right. Lastly, but not leastly, someone who's a dynamic thinker. Okay, I'm not a wilting lily. I'm not someone who's just going to sit there and say, yes, of course, I'll get you a cup of tea. I'll do your clothes. I'll do this. I am not a 50s wife type of person, but I need someone who's going to think dynamically, who understands that you can rise above a whole bunch of problems and symptoms and think about the fact of how they might interconnect. A helicopter thinking person that can rise above any situation and see opportunity as much as see problems and then see solutions. I need a dynamic thinking person. So this comes back to mindset a little bit. Maybe I should have bunched it under mindset, but that's okay. This is all just me expressing what is underneath my question of, will I ever find someone of the same consciousness as me? Because I need to be able to respect that person. That person, I want them to respect me. If they can't understand me because their consciousness is somewhere else, and that's okay. No worries. I don't have a problem with different consciousnesses. I don't have a problem with everybody's stuff. But you need to at least meet me where I stand and understand me. You may not agree with me, but you need to understand me and share the consciousness and understanding of my consciousness. Not judge me for it. Not tell me I'm fucking psycho woman. Not tell me there's a whole bunch of other judgment shit being projected at me. Stand in complete acceptance of that. Of this amazing, sexual, sensual, passionate, intelligent woman. So, the question that keeps me single, will I ever find someone of the same consciousness? Given what that means to me, I don't know. Because I have a repeated experience in my life. I have these kind of extremes that show up for me all the time. There's not sort of that consciousness in the middle, that cool, balanced consciousness that I'm looking for. I get one of either extreme. I get I attract the type of man who sees my beauty, is totally intoxicated by it, absolutely can't help himself, but it fucking scares the shit out of him to such a point that it challenges his ego and he can't cope with me. He cannot stay at that level. And so he'll either put me down, he'll either try and physically control me, emotionally, mentally, whatever the case may be. He will try and control me, but I'm not a force to be controlled. That is not acceptance. That is not love. That is not understanding each other, right? So I get that. And these men are good men. I'm not saying these men are bad men. These men are often good men. They're hardworking, they're honest, they're down to earth, they're great men. They're just not my men. They're not at my level of consciousness, because if I get status quo shoved in my face, the last thing I do is attack it. The first thing I do in my mindset is I open up to the possibilities of the information and learning that it could be presenting me. So, you know what? I don't bounce off the need to be right. I don't bounce off the need to have control. I don't bounce off the need to feel like as if my opinion is more important than others, but I'm open to other ways of thinking. I'm open to looking at facts and information, but I don't want to be judged or controlled because it is rogue, or it's perceived rogue, or it scares the fuck out of someone, okay? So that type of man, that type of man belongs with the type of woman who is more easygoing, who isn't like me, who isn't intense, who isn't passionate. And there's people like that. And those two people together, happy. And I'm happy that they would be happy. That's great. But that is not the level of consciousness that I need. All right, and then I get the other extreme. I get the other extreme of complete fucking player central. Okay, so these dudes are ultra confident. They've got like absolutely every talk under the sun. They got everything. They got every line. They got every comeback. They got absolutely everything. Every knowledge around what buttons to press, how to press them, and how to play me. And often these men are also married. So I've had this like whole thing of married men unhappy. I'll qualify that. Unhappily married men showing up in my life because they look at me and they can and they go into some fantasy land trying to escape their own miserable reality. So, you know, this has been showing up for me, the player married man type. And I just go, what the fuck? That's not the level of consciousness that I am. It's not the level of consciousness that I even want, but it sure as hell the level of my consciousness attracts that, right? So in this process of answering this question, will I ever find someone of the same consciousness? The very important thing to remember is to eliminate out the people who are not at my consciousness. So I immediately eliminate those married men looking for like validation of their own unhappiness and their own worth. I eliminate them out there. In actual fact, I try and channel them off to a men's coaching program or off to somewhere else because those people are not my tribe. Okay, I'm really good at attracting those men, but they are not my tribe. So I know that, like straight out. The other men that I'm talking about, the other extreme, where they're just, you know, like if you challenge their status, then they get all like, you know, up in uproar. I eliminate those men too. I say, look, you know, I think we have a personality difference. I don't think we kind of are going to blend. I think I'm going to press your buttons. You're going to react in a way that's not going to be nice. And you're going to piss me off. So those men I send on their way as well. And I just go, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for reminding me what I don't want. Thank you for reminding me of the consciousness that I have let go of in my past marriage that got me a domestically violent marriage. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. I appreciate you. But no, you are not the consciousness for me. And in this process of exploring who I need in my life and who I am, right, I have set myself a qualifying process. If I go out on a date, you know, these people, I'm going to enjoy time with them. That's great. I will do that. And I will absolutely talk to them. I'll be heart opened, heart centered, completely honest, completely truthful. But I am not going to sit there and just accept anybody for the sake of accepting them because they might be attracted to me. We might have a bit of chemistry and a bit of, you know, fundamental stuff going on in the background. Fundamentally, I'm looking for someone who can demonstrate the level of consciousness that I need to match mine so that I can respect them and they can respect me and we can stand opposite each other in complete love and acceptance of each other. That's the consciousness I'm looking for. Well, there you have it, people. This question has been gurgling inside of me for probably, you know, the best part of at least the last 2 to 3 months. And like I had some, you know, dating hoo-ha go on sort of early in the year, but I have just gone, no. And apart from the COVID-19 not enabling us to date, there's plenty of opportunity to, you know, floozy on all around social media and websites and dating profiles and stuff. But I'm not on any dating profiles because I just don't have time for that. You know, I'm a busy single mom who runs her own business. I'm dynamic. I want to talk to people. I don't want to sit there and hide behind my computer all the time. So this whole COVID-19 thing about stopping dating has really sucked, to to be honest. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's given me an opportunity to sit with this question: will I ever find someone of the same consciousness as me? And, you know, the extension to that question is, how important is that? How important is it to me? Is it important enough to honor my time and their time to not actually even go on dates with people who I know are not going to be the same consciousness with, and I can just see that by the way they live, or the way they're talking, or, you know, what they're projecting? Do I go on the date thinking, well, maybe if I give them a chance, maybe there's an opportunity for me to do that? If I give them a chance, and then you go down the path of giving them 2 or 3 dates and a chance, and the same answer comes up, which is the gut feeling you knew when you first said yes to the first date, and it's just like, no, don't want to waste my time doing, you know, it's nice going out on coffee dates and dinner and stuff like that, and, you know, meeting these people, and then it goes nowhere, and you think to yourself, fuck, I'm back to where I was 3 dates ago. And I'm doing this process with 2 or 3 men because, like, my options, I'm not putting all my sandwiches in one basket. You know, there needs to be options. I need to qualify the best match to me. So it's like, will I ever find that someone? And you have to go through this process of exploration to find someone. And I understand that too. And then Then the next kind of question that comes to my mind is, how much information am I actually putting out to the universe to attract the level of consciousness that I'm looking for? That is my qualifying standard. Am I actually putting information out to the universe, or putting information out about myself to anyone, anywhere, to actually to kind of promote me or promote what I'm looking for? You know, and I'm not a big kind of like, you know, I'm not a dating site person. I'm just not. So I'm thinking to myself, in this realm, in this vortex of internet dating and how it plays out now, I just don't fit in it. I feel like as if I've come from, like, you know, 50, 60 years ago, whereby, you know, the normal was to meet them face to face. You have a nice time, you share some dances or whatever the case may be, and then they come and ask you for another date, because it's based on actually meeting people face to face. Whereas now, I really struggle. I personally struggle with the whole internet dating scene, because I just feel like as if I'm turned into some sushi train option, zooming past some dude's inbox, and I just go, I'm not a fucking sushi train option. I'm not someone who zooms past anybody's inbox. I'm a person. I want to meet that person face to face. I want to actually talk to that person. I want to actually qualify and look at you, talk to you, and see whether or not you actually vibrationally fit with me, and if I'm actually attracted to your energy. So it's just like the whole internet dating scene fucks with my mind completely. I cannot stand it. I absolutely cannot stand it. And the more I resist it, the more this question remains unanswered. Will I ever find someone with my consciousness? Because when you shut down the channels from whereby they come, then you're shutting out the opportunities to be able to meet anybody who may actually match my consciousness. So it's this chicken and egg situation, which is ironic given I have chickens and I have eggs all the time. And what it takes to maintain all of that. But it's, and the correlation of that process to what I experience in the dating process and remaining single. So it's a very interesting discussion. I don't have the answer. I don't. And I won't have the answer until that person stands in front of me. Now, I am hopeful that that person is going to know who they are, and they're going to have the same little antennas raised up in the same way, looking for the match with their consciousness as well. Okay. So I'm open. I'm trying my damnedest to stay open to possibility. And I am trying to, I am keeping, not trying, I don't like the word trying. I am keeping my vision widely open. Am I going to change my standards to dilute myself to fit into someone else's consciousness? Hell the fuck no. Never, never, never. I have worked unbelievably, tirelessly, dedicatingly on healing childhood trauma, on healing all the hang-ups and confidence issues of myself from the past. I'm still working on some generational pain, but I can tell you I am committed to doing the work, and that has to be also on my list of consciousness. You have to be committed to do your work, to see the work and get it done, okay, to at least try and move towards getting the work done. All right. Hello to everybody who's joining me. Thank you so much. I love my tribe very much. I love you guys all very much. Hello, Sue. Good to see you. Hi, Lloyd. Hi, Johnny. How are you? Good to see you here. Hi, Sarah. How are you, Sarah? Good to see you. Hi, Amanda Clark. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Sani Berg. Yay. Hello, Sani. How are you, honey? Amanda, this is exactly the kind of thing I need to see. Awesome. Thank you, honey. If you resonate, if you've got some questions or comments, please comment them or share this out. Please do that. Hi, Johnny. Yes, absolutely. Pina. Hi, Pina. How are you? Good to see you. And Jean Bonaducci. Ciao, Bella. Come va? Hope you're going good. And Giocano. Hey, buenos dias, senor. How you doing down there in Canberra? I hope you're keeping warm, and I hope you are still shaking it with your DJing and all of your amazing Latino work that you do down there. And hello, Sid Shah. Nice to see you here as well. Thank you. All right. Thank you to everyone who's joined me. This is a great question. And, you know, just I am holding an intention. I went out in my backyard yesterday, I put my arms up in the air, and I screamed at the forest and asked it to please show me action. I have the intention, I have the clarity, I have the awareness, I have the vision, I have the open heart. It's all ready to rock. Show me the action. Bring it on. Bring it on. All right, giving you my love and light. If you have any thoughts or questions or commentary or even just a space of hell to the yes, Madonna, please comment down below. Please like, love, share this out to wherever you think it could be useful. And I will see you on the next live. Sending you my love and light. Ciao for now.